downtown or in Roland Park with that gun, they wouldn't get no bail. That's just a fact, man. Something's wrong with the system, and the system's the fault for that boy being dead.
And that's the point we're discussing today, is that we tend to agree with you, Fred. Thanks for calling in, my man. It's always great to hear from you.
My pleasure, Joe.
Ira, anything to add while we switch over to DJ?
Yeah, if I may. For the last decade, I have been living in Maryland and been doing an extensive amount of criminal work. So I see examples of this young man if not on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. And the question becomes, what best serves one, society, and two, the people in the community? And I'm bothered by the fact that this issue of bail and the rules that the Court of Appeals are looking at will do nothing but make the community less safe. We haven't really talked about this young man and his effect in the community by his ability to get a gun whenever he gets out. That in and of itself is a problem.
And I agree with you. Let's get DJ to weigh in on that line of thinking. DJ, you're on the air at WOLB on Justice for All. Thanks for calling in today.
Peace, everybody. Let's just visualize this whole situation without us knowing this young kid had previous gun charges to see if the police was right or wrong. But I want to go on with something else with them still in the car, what the previous caller said about cars being stolen. Well, if you can remember, it was a little girl that got killed in front of her school due to them kids with continuous records of in the mystery, stolen cars or what have you. And the little girl had died. So to me, the system failed that kid, because they would have kept that kid with a responsible adult or somebody responsible, a responsible unit to detain them until, they get the situation settled, what's going on with this young fella. He would have been allowed to date. But it's not a white or black thing with this situation. The system failed this little kid. The system failed this little kid. But like the other caller said, I must say, if he was in another little neighborhood like Little Italy or something, he would have never got out of jail. So the system failed this kid.
And that's what we're hunting for today on the show. Thanks, DJ, for your point of view.
The system failed that kid, man.
We appreciate it. Thank you, my man.
That's sad. I wouldn't want no kid to die. That's sad, man.
We agree. Especially this young. Travis, you're on WOLB, Justice for All. Thanks for calling in. Again, we're talking about young Mr. Curtis Deal and the criminal justice system with a focus on what to do with repeat offenders in this type of situation.
I'm a law student and an activist in the community and advocate. And, the Baltimore City Police Department is a bunch of crooks. And I was telling one police officer, I said, if you are a good police officer, then you need to tell them you need to tell on the bullies and the police officers that are full of misconduct. And I told him, I said, if you're such a good officer, you need to retire and seek other employment, because you're a part of the problem if you're not reporting the foolishness that these crooked cops put out in the community every single day. Baltimore City police officers do what they want to do. And they do what they want, how they want, because the FOP has a pigeonhole on the delegates in Annapolis. These delegates are on the campaign payroll of the FOP. FOP gave them $1,000 to their campaign. They're going to shut their mouth off. So they're not going to take up for the rights and produce laws and write up laws that's really going to govern how the police department deals with people. We already know that no cops will be charged. Probably no judge will send a police officer to jail. Reference Freddie Gray case. The state legislators are very weak at protecting the rights of citizens and writing up laws that's going to govern how these bullies deal with people. You know, I do feel like if you do the crime, you should do the time. Some people deserve bail. Some people deserve no bail because they are a threat to the community. But
let me ask you this.
But I'm also saying to you, don't violate someone's Fourth and Eighth Amendment rights. But I think some people do deserve bail because if they just killed somebody, they don't need to be out on the street where they may go kill 2 other people that are related to that person that they killed.
Well, let me ask you, do you think it makes sense when you have a guy who has his second gun charge in a month, plus a possession charge, should he walk away? Because basically he was released on recognizance. They said he had a bail, but no money changed hands. No one signed to be responsible for him. Does that make sense?
And before
it doesn't make sense because if he has
Travis, hold on for a second. I want to modify that statement. It's not about the money changing hands so much as it is nobody signed for him in my mind. The way money is a bail bond. It's important for a service. I understand that piece.
Yeah.
But my bigger piece is what about someone who knows this kid, his mom, his dad, his aunt, his uncle?
That should have been, I don't know. I mean, that kind of charge that he had, a felony. Someone should have been released to someone with an ankle bracelet, a locator where they could locate him, and he should have been given some kind of social worker, some kind of, I'm sure he probably had a probation officer, but he should have been released to someone that can check up on him, or he should have been released to a program or something. But, I mean, like the guy said, the system is failing. You have racist judges down there like Martin O'Malley's wife, Catherine O'Malley, who doesn't give a damn about black folk. So we have a lot of racism in the court. We have a lot of racism. They don't care about us. All they care about is their salaries and their benefits. They don't care about us. That's why we as a people got to stand up and do some civil disobedience, get locked up, go do it again, get locked up, go do it again, get locked up, to let them know that we're not going to tolerate the foolishness, because some people should go to jail, but some people should not go to jail. But the system is failing our people. The system is failing our people. You have Kevin, what is his name? Kevin Davis, who is still sitting in jail after since the state's attorney did not win her case, and all his charges were acquitted. Why is he still in jail? How can you be a felon? How can you be a felon in possession if they declared that they declared all other charges not guilty? How can you be charged with felon in possession if they say you didn't? You were acquitted. You got
a really good point there, Travis. But we're trying to focus on the pretrial phase, and we thank you for calling. We got a bunch of other people stacked up behind you. Have a great day. Tommy, how you doing this afternoon, my man?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for calling back in here at WOLB's Justice for All. So we really want to focus in this afternoon, Tommy. Everyone's been talking about the policing and the racism in the system, and we agree that there's some issues that need to be sorted through. But the question here is, accountable release for this young man, yes or no? Should he have been out on bail? Should his family have been involved? Or is this a situation where it's something bigger, not just bail, but something bigger? What do you think?
Well, that's a complicated question. There's many factors that's involved in that. But I would tell you this. Let me get this one point across. I was one of the brothers that knew Freddie Gray. Let me just get this out. And he was a good guy. I know him for years, probably about 20 years, since he was young, probably since he was about 7, 8 years old. And he respected me. You know why? Because I'm a good guy. You understand? And he was a good guy. No, with the situation with this brother that just got killed, I watched the video. They didn't have to shoot him. They didn't have to pursue him like that. You understand? And when you watch the video, he didn't really turn around. You could actually tell, in my opinion, that he didn't really actually turn around to try to shoot the police. He was just basically running. They should have just left him alone. They didn't have to kill him, man. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The system is biased, man. And I guarantee you, if it was some white kid somewhere, they wouldn't pursue him like that and gut him down like that. They would have given him a chance. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I got to say, man. But thanks, man. Peace.
Thank you, Tommy. Eric, good afternoon. Thanks for calling in today.
Hey, good afternoon. I think it's one part that we're missing, one important factor. Chances are that the judge was releasing this young man because he was still a student. He played basketball for Digital High. So that means he was going to school at least every day, because you can't be a student athlete without having good attendance.
Well-
What that points to is the fact that a kid can be going to school every day trying to do what he needs to do to try to do the right thing, but the allure of this drug culture is that strong that probably 70% of our students are participating in it by force and lack of an opportunity to get gainful employment. So the judge probably released this young man because he was going to school every day. We need to look at the realities of what's going on in this city and call a spade a spade. If it wasn't for the drug trade in this town, less than half of these kids will have shoes on their feet to wear to school. Let's be real.
Hold on, we got somebody on the phone here that's been practicing in the criminal justice system now for many, many years. And before we let you go, which we thank you for calling into Dead Better, we really appreciate it. Ira, what do you think on what Eric just had to say?
Look, there's a problem in the system. Everybody can agree to that. Is it a racist system? I don't know. Is it a system that's stacked up against the defendant in many ways? Absolutely. But here's the issue. There is nobody in Baltimore City, period, who is a government employee, whether it be local or state, who is charged with monitoring people when they are out of jail. The only monitoring that is available in the system now is through the bail bond. And a bail bondsman will know who the defendant friends are, who their family is, are able to make calls when necessary to make sure there isn't a problem, to surrender him if they think there's a problem. There is no agency in Baltimore that is able to do that. And that's the real thing that came out of this shooting situation. We're talking about him being a young man. Where were the adults?
Well, that's a good question. Where were the adults? But I think Eric's point is that judge put a lot of emphasis on the fact that this young man was still in school. True or untrue?
I don't know. Wasn't there? I would think that if that were raised and demonstrated, no question that should be taken into consideration.
There you go, Eric.
Some little bit of stability.
There you go, Eric. You hit the nail on the head for today's show. This is point proof positive that was a factor that was involved in, something that, was a question. So we thank you for calling in, Eric. We're going to move on to somebody else. Please keep calling in on Mondays between 1 and 2 as we continue to discuss this subject. But thank you for being with us. Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for calling in today.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
You're doing great. Thank you for calling in. So, share with us your opinion on this young man in this pattern of arrests and the pretrial sense of his cases. What's your thought?
All it, you know how it goes in Alpha. You got a broken system. You got a lot of politicians that are dealing with these stuff, and that's what you have. Nobody wants to bring that up. And this guy's 18 years old. He gets locked up almost, 3 times within a month? And they let him out, or twice in a month?
Yes, sir. Three times in a month.
3 times in a month. So that lets you know the criminals are running this city. It's time for that to go. It's time to stop that. This is why we have all these killings. And the black politician, I'm sorry. Time for you to stand up or resign and get out of office. You're not doing nobody a bit of good. Baltimore City was once a beautiful place. You had people that worked hard, achieved many things, and I just see it going totally the opposite direction. And look, let the brothers get up off of it. We had queens and kings. We had people that invented things, that went to school and did major contributions to our ethnicity. And it's time for us to get back to that. Sitting around doing nothing but talking. Time to make motion. You see what that president doing, don't you?